Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel where we review anything and everything. And today we're getting into the Amaran 60xS. This version also comes in a 60ds. The difference is that the X is a bicolor, which is where you can adjust the color temperature as you see there. The D version stands for daylight and is simply 5,600 Kelvin or the equivalent of daylight. So it's always in the daylight mode. I'm gonna have the link in the description down below for this. This one will generally run you about $150, $150 and some change. The other one will run you about $135. So it's a little bit cheaper. You save a bit of money. You may not ever need to adjust the Kelvin temperature. Where that really plays a role is if you have other lights inside your scene. So say if you have not another adjustable COB light or studio light or whatever the case is, considered a COB light. But if you have some kind of adjustable studio light inside your situation that you have going on, your studio, your room, whatever the case is, you may not need to adjust the Kelvin temperature if you're only operating on daylight white and you're in a controlled kind of setup where you are using just lights that can do the daylight white in some capacity or another, even if the other ones you have or can vary in their color temperature. The one time where you would want one like this, say if you only have this only light and you don't have any other studio lights, you might say to yourself, okay, I need to make this equal the color temperature of the lights that are in the room. So maybe you've got, just a lamp and other things, and that incandescent light, you need this to match that. In that case, you would want this version because then you can dial this to match those lights, except be brighter, and then change your color white balance. I'm sorry, not your color. Change your white balance to match that. So this is how this thing looks. And to be honest with you, I really like this. Now, I just did a review on the Amaran 150C. A lot of people on YouTube will tote that to be the one that you should get. Like it's the best all around or this and that. But the truth is that one I think might be a little overkill for a lot of people. And I really do feel that this thing wasn't really out during the days that the other one was out, the 150C. And so when that was toted around, this one became a more affordable option that came out after the fact. And to be honest with you, I think this is more suited for most people in most common situations. So you have the screen right there. It says BT reset. I have to really find out what that means, but this is just a really quick kind of unboxing where I'm not 100% sure on all the details, these kind of little things. This is the switch. You can press it in and that will change from you dialing the intensity to dialing in the Kelvin. You would turn it otherwise. There's the on and off switch. I guess that's where the power comes into play. It's also got your regular mounting area, which also makes this one a bit more universal than its bigger brother, because this can really mount on almost anything, even a portable tripod or even just a regular size tripod. You really have a lot of options for this, and it weighs so little that it's easier for you to kind of, really kind of put it however you want to put it or where you want to put it. You got a lot more options with this. So that part is actually really good. One thing they say about this, which is a pain, which is getting all this stuff back in the box is very hard after the fact. So unfortunately, that's going to be something I'm going to have to deal with here. And I can see why, because this really doesn't have a lot of space for this here. It's just really crammed in here. Now this right here is your battery containment. So this right here, this entire thing can go portable, which is actually pretty nice. So that right there let's see if I get this right. Can go in like that, and you can put 2 batteries on it so it could be portable. If I'm not mistaken, these take some form of Sony battery. And so I guess if that's the case, I don't know if those batteries will always be universal, but if not, I would say jump on it before they are gone and no longer a thing, because, if that's your thing, you want to be portable like that. Otherwise, it's a very portable in itself, but yes. And Oops, let me turn this on that side. Let's not ruin the screen in any way. You have this for your standard mount that would go on, you know, a light stand, and then this piece to go into your light. And then we have the reflector and a little bit of paperwork, which doesn't even have an actual spot it goes in because it's wrapped up in there with the deflector. And this is a fabric diffuser that wraps around the deflector. So it's not the same or the equivalent of, say, actual, you know, impractical softbox, but it's something just to kind of get you by. I am going to quickly untie some of these cables, and I'm going to plug it in just to kind of show you guys how that looks. Okay, so I'm going to plug this in. And what's cool about this is that even though you can just plug it in regular, it does have a screw. Let me get that on camera there, a screw where you can do that. So that way it tightens in. You don't have to screw it too tight, but it does lock it in. And now I realize from the 150C that I already unboxed that these things have a little lever or button to actually take this piece off. So, and of course I'm still having trouble. There we go. Okay, you got this little piece right here. So let's see how this thing does. Turn it on. Let's face the screen. There you go. We've got power. Now this is 100% right now, so we're definitely dialed in way too much. I'm gonna dial that down. Now this is definitely overkill as well, but I will say that it's definitely not as bright as the other one was. The other one starts at 50%. This thing actually has Bluetooth as well. I think the other one probably did as well. Yeah, they both actually, because I forgot they both have a remote app that they work with. We're gonna come down to, now obviously on something like this, the percentage is still gonna be like, how should I say, 10% of this one is not 10% on the 150C. So I think most people are usually outputting somewhere around that 40% range when they're really doing some real work. We're gonna punch this button in, and then that should allow me to go to, wait a minute. Why is that? Okay, that's weird. Pushing the button in is changing. Okay, pushing the button in seems to be jumping the percentage by 20 increments. So that is what's happening there. But I'm gonna see, I think, let's see if you hold it in. Okay, you hold it in. I remember seeing that from another video. You hold it in, and then you're able to go to the, you guys can see the screen better than I can on there. It's funny from the angle, but now I'm able to now adjust the Kelvin temperature, and we're gonna bring that down over to sunlight, 5,600. That's nice. I like that this knob feels sturdy. It feels good. It doesn't feel like something that'll break off, because I've seen some that have color wheels. Now, I mentioned in my previous video with the Amaran 150 that I do think this is a better light for anyone who's doing content creation, basic content creation. You want to do studio photography, you need a steady light that you're going to put on with a umbrella, not an umbrella, but a softbox or something like that, or umbrella if you want to do that, whatever the case is. In place of you doing something like a flash, strobe flash, you can use something like this. And to be honest with you, I think that this is a better fit than a lot of things, a lot of lights. And I think it's better than the 150C for all those kind of things. Like I said, if you're doing for like cinematography work, you're doing for photography, you're doing for like content creation, you know, or you're trying to make a little basic kind of movie kind of setup, whatever. I think this is better than the 150C, only because you don't need that level of power. You really don't. When I press this, it's going through the Kelvin levels, and it goes through, I guess, the full stop Kelvin levels that we think of, or that if you looked at it like a chart that shows you what light equals what, is jumping you with those full levels. And then I'm gonna go back to the output. Now this is 40 right here, and I think a lot of people will normally do 40 or around that range when they're normally using this. And I just want to say that I really think that this will cover you for all bases. If you need the Kelvin one, then use it. if you don't, with the adjustable Kelvin, the X, if you don't need that, I honestly would tell you, you can get the one that is not adjustable by the temperature, which is the D, but it's about $20 difference. About, yeah, $20, $25 difference. I honestly would say if this is going to be your main light, I would say get this one. But I would say because of that, you don't need to really get the 150C. And I'm really saying that from a standpoint of, I don't want people to go and get something that they don't need. Though I chose to get the 150C at the same time, and I happened to be able to do it. I got it on sale as well. But to be honest with you, I bought this one because even though I needed a second light, I knew I didn't need something as strong. I just wanted the 150C because of the different color changing, and I want to experiment with it. I'm not too sure how far I'm going to go down the line, but I am into photography. I am into, obviously, now content creation. I don't know how much more stuff I'll get into, but this is really going to be my full-time space. So that is the reason why for me, I chose that. But being honest with you guys, I don't think that you should get anything beyond this, or at least start off with this. And a lot of times when you want to do something, you want to have two lights. So I would tell you that you could get this one and then maybe the D for a little bit cheaper price, and let these be your two lights. If you're doing specifically photography or content creation, I would say you could go with that, to be honest with you. Other than that, if you're only going to have one light, definitely get the X version, because like I mentioned previously in the 150C video, I don't remember now if I mentioned this at the beginning of the video, but by adjusting your Kelvin temperature, you can make it where this will adjust to the rest of your lights inside the room. So say if you only have, just regular house lights going on, you could adjust this to that, then change your white balance in your camera, and then that way all the lights will look like the same color. Now that yellowish will now naturally be white by changing the tone of your camera and the white balance. And so it kind of allows you to kind of work with what you already have around you. So that's why I definitely recommend this, but I definitely don't recommend that you guys spend more than really just this getting started off. I don't think this one existed back when they had the 150C. So everyone thought the 150C is the best one to have. But now that you have this, which I think it's been out for about like maybe 2 or 3 years, but they recently updated, I heard, to make the color quality a little bit better. I definitely recommend you guys picking this up for all the various reasons that I just mentioned. And put down in the comments below, what do you guys think? Link's gonna be in the description down below if you guys wanna purchase this. I'm gonna also put in the link down below the NEEWER. I said I was gonna do this in the 150C video, so I'm gonna mention this again now. The NEEWER, that's the brand, NEEWER. If you guys aren't familiar with it, most people in photography or that kind of space are. NEEWER 80, I think it's C something. It's different. It's very similar. They're comparable, but it's another option because that one has the full color spectrum where you can do the whole red, blue, green, all those kind of RGB colors. And it has all the same features as this one, a little bit more stuff going on with it. But this brand is considered to be like a more higher quality brand. So that's the thing about it. But at the same time too, you are giving up certain features relative to the price. So that's why I'm going to throw that one in there. But honestly, do some research, figure out which one that you like better. I could be wrong, but after the videos I've seen on that one, even though I jumped on this one first because I knew of this one first, I have a feeling that the build quality on this one is a bit better. But at the same time too, the other one's giving you a little bit more features, and I don't think it's considered bad. It also has a built-in battery. So that way, where this one you have to connect for portable battery power, that one you don't have to do that. As always, you guys, like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.